Today we'll be reviewing the PT-VMZ51 projector from Panasonic. The PT-VMZ51 was originally marketed as a conference or classroom projector, but has recently become more and more popular in the simulator market due to its versatility and quality. After performing the testing on this projector, it's become one of our personal favorites, and you'll see why later in the video. So let's take a look at the specs and perform some real-world testing to help determine if the Z51 is the right projector for you. The Z51 comes equipped with a horizontal and vertical lens shift, a superior form of picture correction that works great for situations where the projector needs to be placed off-center from the screen. The lens shift capabilities are plus or minus 20% horizontal or plus or minus 44% vertical, giving a wide margin for the ability to correct your image. So one really cool feature that this projector has is the lens shift. Lens shift allows you to adjust the direction that the lens is pointed. So it's an actual physical adjustment you're making, which helps to cut down on the amount of keystone correction that you need, which can help to give you a better image quality because you're making the adjustment with the lens shift instead of the keystone correction. If you use too much keystone correction, sometimes you can get a little bit of a blurry image on the screen. So you can see this has got both the horizontal and vertical lens shift that allows you to make those adjustments. Along with traditional vertical and horizontal keystone controls, it also comes with an auto keystone function, which performed really well when we were setting it up for testing. So you'll see if I point the projector up, I'm not sure if you can see it on the ceiling, but the screen is adjusting, trying to get back to square. So pay attention to the top here. I'm gonna put this down and you'll see it automatically making those adjustments. So you can see it's not square and there it just squared itself right back up. All in all, the picture correction features of this projector made it a breeze to set up with our impact screen. So if you're looking for a projector that's easy to get aligned to your screen, this projector does a fantastic job. So next, let's take a look at the connectivity options for this projector. I'll turn this around and you can see there's gonna be, I can't see what I'm looking at here, but all right, I can't really see what I'm looking at here, so we'll just have them put it up on the screen for you as I'm going through this. But you get 2 HDMI audio and video inputs, a USB port, 2 1/8" audio inputs, 2 VGA connections, a 1/8" audio output, 2 Ethernet connections, and a controller input. So whatever your use case, this projector comes with a lot of options for connectivity. So now we're going to be doing a test with the brightness, dynamic range, and color accuracy. We have the projector mounted at about 19 feet from lens to screen. It's somewhere around 2.5 feet off the ground. And for this test, we are using our 10 by 15.5 Pro golf enclosure. So quickly, let's just go through the menu on this projector. You can see there's a lot of different customization options you can click through. You can set your picture mode, you can manually adjust your contrast and brightness and color and everything. The menu is pretty intuitive, so it's easy to navigate and find the settings that you're looking for. One setting that we found that was maybe a little different than we've seen in the past was when we were looking for aspect ratio. It was under display option, like you might think, but then instead of aspect ratio, it's actually called screen setting. So that's where you go to make an adjustment to your aspect ratio between 16:9, 4:3, or 16:10. So that was kind of the one quirk, I guess, that we noticed as we were getting everything set up. But otherwise, yeah, like I said, it's pretty intuitive and there's a lot of different options that you can go through to try to get the best image quality for your space. Next, we performed a brightness test where we used a light meter to measure the amount of light hitting the screen from the projector. The Z51 gave us a lux reading of 210 at 19 feet from the projector to the screen. For comparison, Our other most recent test we did with the TK710 STI projector gave us a reading of 210 lux at its bright profile setting and 12 feet away from the screen instead of 19 feet. So this one has a lot of output. It was so bright, in fact, that it kept blinding us every time we went up to the screen during our testing. So it's definitely a projector that will excel in rooms with ambient light. After testing brightness, we tested for dynamic range, color accuracy, and sharpness. So now let's take a look at the sharpness on the projector. Looking at the lines up top, you can see the horizontal and vertical lines. They're there. They might not be the clearest, but you can tell definitely what these are supposed to be up here. Looking at this section, which is the crosshatch, if you get right up next to it, you can kind of see some of the cross hatching, but really, I mean, if you didn't know what you were supposed to be looking for, it might be difficult to see, I guess. The last few reviews we've done have been 4K projectors. This one is 1900 by 1200, so closer to like a 1080p. So it's not gonna have the sharpness of some of the other projectors we've looked at. And then looking down here, these vertical lines, you can see that there's a pretty clear distinction up until you get into this range where it kind of starts to get muddy and they start blending together more. So as far as the clarity on the image, really that's about as crisp as you're gonna get for a 1920 by 1200 projector. Really clear image. It's pretty impressive for the resolution that you're seeing. All right, so next let's look at the dynamic range. You can see very clear transitions between each of these gray areas. Looking up here at this gradient bar, you can see it's very smooth the entire way across, no sudden jumps. And they basically match what we're seeing on the computer monitor, so overall it just looks great. So next we're gonna look at the color on the screen. Looking over here at the circles on the side, I mean, this might be the closest match that we've had for what we see on the golf screen compared to what we're seeing on the computer monitor. Everything looks really true to what it should be. And also looking at the yellow, it seems like when we've done reviews in the past, that's been our kind of complaint with a lot of them, is the yellow looks more green or something like that, and it just isn't a true yellow. Looking at it here, this is, I don't know how else to say it, this is the yellowest yellow that we've had on a projector so far. And finally, looking at the color gradient here, you can see, again, it's a pretty smooth transition all the way across. Sometimes you see in some areas the colors kind of get muddled together and you don't have that smooth transition, but here, again, just like with the rest of the colors, it's very true to what we're seeing on the computer monitor, and there isn't a lot of that kind of muddied color. We've thought our previous tests with projectors were color accurate, but this one, it just may be the best yet. Just take a look at how similar the projected image is compared to how it's viewed on a computer monitor. Another note is that the projector didn't have color banding nearly as bad as our BenQ projector tests have had. It's only visible when using a camera to record the screen, so it's not really something you'd come across unless you'd be using cameras to record your swing. Here's an example of how this projector looks with some ambient light if you don't have a light-controlled space. We're sitting at about 6 lux or so for our ambient brightness hitting the screen. So this is what the screen will look like in a non-light controlled area for this projector. Next, we ran through a few different courses on GS Pro software to show you what gameplay might look like on the Z51. Here's an example using video to show the picture quality for those planning on using their setup to watch movies or video. So our final thoughts on this projector. First off, the color accuracy is incredible. The image as a whole really is just spectacular. It's seriously a gorgeous image and it's very true to life. The only real disadvantage it has compared to some other projectors in this price range is it's not 4K. It's a very sharp 1920 by 1200 image though, and unless you're pixel peeping, the extra brightness really gives the illusion that it has a higher resolution than reality. Also, the horizontal and vertical lens shift should not be overlooked. Most projectors in this price range don't have that option, and it's so incredibly useful for positioning your projector and getting a clean image with more unconventional projector placement. It helps make up for the fact that it's not a short throw projector, allowing you to offset the placement further back from the screen. We see potential for it in a commercial space, especially somewhere that has more depth available and maybe a little more ambient light in the space. All in all, we'd recommend it for someone who has more depth to work with in their space and who's looking for a bright projector to maybe counterbalance some ambient light issues in their space. We hope this video helps you with your projector purchase, and let us know if you have any questions or if you'd like to see any other projectors compared in the comments below. If you appreciate content like this, please take the time to like this video, as it really informs us of what kind of videos you find helpful and improves our performance in YouTube's algorithms. And as always, please like and subscribe for more content on building your own golf simulator setup.